All right, we are live. So, welcome everyone. This interview is with a high school student in Chicago, Illinois. His name is Dunni Dayo-Kayode, and he attends the Chicago Math and Science Academy. And let's have him take it away. Dunni, how you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Trying to, get a few things running, finalize some stuff for Color Hacks because it's only like a five weeks away, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, trying to get things done. Also trying to manage school as well while doing basketball. It's a lot of things, but I'm coping. Yeah.
Life in high school. I remember doing all those things. Well, not color hacks, but juggling
Yeah.
multiple sports, classes, other things, church, all that.
Yeah.
So I guess you told us a little bit about some of the activities you do, some of your
hmm
achievements, which we'll dig into a little bit more. But let's take a step in a slightly different direction first, and talk about you as a person. What are some of your interests? What are some things you like to do day to day? Just kind of when you wake up, what are your first thoughts other than
Uh,
tired?
yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of things that like make me who I am. But
Yeah,
like most importantly, it's just like the things that I've like over the years, like I've tried a lot of things, I've done a lot of things, and I've achieved a lot of different things. Just to, like the experiences I get from them and like how I feel about them, I end up like, figuring like what I want, what I like. And like eventually I ended up with tech, basketball, and just community based stuff, like focusing on diversity, inclusion, all that stuff like that. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. And for you, obviously being in Chicago, also being a young black man,
hmm
there's a lot of things going on recently that, I'm sure,
For
you're
sure.
not necessarily keeping your eye on all the time because you have other things going on, but every now and then you probably do kind of think about this stuff and
Yeah.
you read about it. What are some of your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I just it's like it's surprising like the things that goes on and just like why it still goes on, but like for right now I'm just trying to focus on making sure I just make it out and just like just make a name for myself, to be honest, at the end of the day, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things you're doing to get to that goal is color hacks.
Yeah.
And you told me before that you've been working on color hacks for a couple months now. Part of it
hmm
was kind of last semester was a little crazy for you. Um, you know, you start working on it some more and said, "Hey, maybe I should push this back a bit,
hmm
take advantage of winter break," which you did. And you know, when I first heard the name, well, first my first thought was, wait, how did no one create that
yeah,
with that name
literally,
already?
yeah.
But hey, there you go, you got it. And when you were introduced to me, I was basically saying, or Jordan from Make School was basically saying, hey, he's doing this great stuff, and I looked
hmm
at it, virtual safe space for underrepresented minorities and this and that, and I was thinking, all right, let's check this out.
yeah.
So kind of take us, I guess, from the inception of this to now, kind of
hmm
what was going on all the way up until we met.
It was. I wouldn't say it's necessarily just like from okay. So I said like from seventh grade, I like started doing a bunch of stuff. So basically
Yeah.
in seventh grade, I took the ACT, got a pretty good score. I think I got like a 25 or something on it. Got a pretty good score on it, and I like applied to like these selective programs like Johns Hopkins and Northwestern CTD. I am also part of Duke TIP. I was supposed to go last summer, but COVID and all that stuff, I didn't end up
Yeah.
going. So through those, like I started going to all these like summer camps for like 3 weeks, and I just noticed like I was like the only like person of color there. I'm just like, what's going on? Like, it's like just kind of hard to like find my place in a environment that like there's not that much people like me. So I kind of brought this to my brother, and I was like, dude, like, what can I do about this? Because like the only reason why I was able to be exposed to things like that because of my brother. My brother, he's just a different breed with all the information he has in his brain. I don't even know, but like he like got me into all this stuff. I'm just like, I feel like I owe it to the community to do something like this. So I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And also, like the week before, we were talking about like how I can't go to hackathon because I was 15, I was too young, and I was like, I should make a hackathon. And then he was like, "Yo, you're planning on making a hackathon? Why don't you just make one for minorities?" I was like, "Yo, that's a good idea." And like throw for that, I could like bounce off different ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I at first I was planning on doing like December, I think 19 or December 11th, but like
Yeah.
I thought I could do it by myself and like figure it out in such a little time, but it was not the case. So I ended up like pushing it to February. Lucky for me, it's Black History Month. So I was like, you know what, this might be a really good idea. And then I talked to started talking to sponsors. I got in touch with Jordan. He introduced me to you, and then yeah, basically it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the really cool things is that a lot of people your age, because I was probably the same way, um, when we come across something where it's like, man, why doesn't this exist or why don't we have it? A lot of times we try to figure out how can we make it happen. And in your case, you're saying, look, I have the resources, I have the privileges and information and all that needed to make it happen for others because we all have different forms of being underprivileged, some much more than others.
Yeah,
But in your
yeah,
case, you're saying, all right, I have enough what I need to make things happen for others who are like me. And like you said, you couldn't go to these hackathons. Part of it was your age. So okay, maybe I'll just create a hackathon. Your brother says, well, what about one for minorities? And then I guess that's where you get color
yep,
hacks from.
yeah,
And
yeah,
from there you start trying to figure out step by step.
yeah.
And I often tell people, if you can put on a birthday party, you can put on a hackathon. Now, of course, it's not to say it's as easy, but it's more, you already know the steps.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, each step is that much more involved in, because how many people get sponsors for their birthday parties?
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
that's a big part of it. And I
Hmm.
think, obviously, for your generation dealing with, oh man, we can't go anywhere physically. Like you mentioned, Duke TIP, which I think it's pronounced Duke Tip, isn't it? I don't know.
Actually, I think it's pronounced Duke Tip. I don't know why I just
I mean, I
started
guess it's
calling it
both. I
TIP.
mean,
I don't know.
I went to
Maybe
Duke.
because
I
it's
would
maybe
know
because the
this.
tip is like capitalized. I don't know. It just
Yeah. So it's one of
yeah,
those things that you think I would know this because I went to Duke, but I'll go and tell you, it's like so many acronyms. But
yeah.
the key thing I like to point out to everyone is that you're also flexible enough to say, you know what, I can't get it done by December, so let's do a good job, push it into February, Black History Month. And
Hmm.
so here we are. You have the website up, registration's open, you've got
Yep.
speakers, workshops. Um, you actually you well, we've been working on your sponsorship contract, so clearly you have that stuff.
Yep.
And for you, the past, I guess we met probably a month ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was about like over Christmas break. It was either right before Christmas break or during Christmas break. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's I think it's before Christmas break because I remember you talking about like how it was like grinding during Christmas break and you didn't expect me to do that. So yeah, I think it was before Christmas
yeah,
break.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so over the past month, you've made a whole lot of progress. And obviously, it's not all credit to me because your
Yeah.
brothers helped out. You've been able to do a lot on your own already.
Hmm.
But this past month, I think because of winter break, you had time to really lay that foundation and really push forward, and
Hmm.
then build that momentum. And so anyone who's thinking, who watches this and thinks, oh man, it's so hard. Yeah, it is to get started. But once you get
Sure.
started, people are going to want to help you. And, you're going to pick up momentum, pick up steam. You're going to
Hmm.
start picking up teammates. So, a lot of times the hardest part is getting started.
Yeah.
And then you just got to keep going. So, um, I guess, is there any advice you want to add on top of that for people who are watching this?
To be okay. Let me just okay. So like outside of color hacks, or I just okay. My mentality on this like transferred into color hacks, but just like it may be hard, but in reality, it's not as hard as it seems. Like if you're able to just like clear your head and like kind of like understand what you're supposed to do, and like don't be scared to ask the people. There are most likely gonna be a lot of people that want to help you, and like this might sound very like like cliche and just like everybody says this, but like you can just don't give up. Like you got this. Like it's pretty like it's not as hard as it seems. Like coming into college hacks, like I was so excited. I thought I could take on the world. That's why I put it like in like three
Yeah.
months, not knowing I needed like 6 months. But like at the end of the day, like as soon as I started, I just couldn't stop. Like I just keep doing it, grinding. It's like personally, I find it like kind of fun. Like I told you early this week, like I just like I feed off of the thrill of like being under stress and having a lot to do and like getting it done. But like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
just keep going. Like it's not as hard as it seems. It's closer than
Yeah.
you think it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, a great analogy for me and you come from basketball is, um, if we just start saying right now, we got to do
Hmm.
some sprints. Yeah, it sounds terrifying, but part of it is we understand why that's important for basketball. Now, usually we probably had 15 minutes to shoot around, kind of warm up
Yeah.
before we go into sprints, usually stretching as well. But, the main thing, like you said, is once you get started, you realize it's not as hard. It's just before you psych yourself out, you think about it. And then the
Hmm.
same thing with the game. You're all lined up, you checked in your numbers and everything. Now you're gathering around center court and you're just like, oh man, this guy's taller than me. I got to guard him, this and that. But if you did your homework, you did the scouting report, you practiced your drills and stuff, as soon as the ball goes up for the tip off, you stop thinking about that. You just function.
Autopilot. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, and we talked about this as well, is with basketball, you want to get to the point where 90% of your involvement is practice, because then whatever percentage left is the games.
Hmm.
You go in and you're just ready to go. You're not even thinking about, I might have this highlight reel play and it's like, oh, can you do it again? No. What, did
It
you
just happened.
practice? No. That's why I can't do it again, because it was just I practiced different fundamentals. So then when the situation came up, I was able to react, flip the
Hmm.
ball up backwards over my head
Yeah.
and one, right?
Yeah.
No one practices that. It's just you develop the feel for the situation, the game awareness, and then all right, where's I just got hit like this in the air. Where's the ball? Where's the goal? What's going
Hmm.
on? And now, obviously, for you, first time doing color hacks, it does take that time to kind of figure out what is the game plan. But like you're saying, you're finally on a roll. And if I told you, hey, after color hacks, you got to do another one in April, you just be like, all right, cool,
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
game time.
Literally. Yeah.
So Um, I guess one of the really interesting things to me is you mentioned that a lot of this advice for you came from your brother.
Hmm.
So I guess what's the age gap between you two?
I believe if you're watching this and I get your name wrong, don't get mad. But like, I feel like I think he's about 22, 23. But like the age gap, I think it's 6 or 7 years. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so when you were in seventh grade, he was in college.
He was a freshman, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, okay, and so he was already telling you, hey, you gotta start doing these things.
Hmm.
Would you say that was the start of you setting your own goals?
Honestly, I would say no because like in seventh grade, I was just still like, that sporadic kid, just doing whatever he wants, just like jumping around the house, being goofy. And
Yeah.
then like with the ACT and like studying, because I think I studied for about like 3 or 4 months straight, like literally 4 a.m., like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the night. It was just a hectic. Like through that, I kind of like, start to understand like the working, the grind you got to put through to get something good. And like I was going through, it was hard. My mom was had to wake me up because I was seventh grade. There's no way I'm waking up at 4 a.m. by myself. It's like my mom would put me through that. And when I eventually got the score, I was like, wow, so this is what like the grind does for you. And then through that, I started doing some stuff. I remember I was fat back in seventh grade. That's when I started working out, like started losing all the weight and all that stuff. I just
Yeah.
the grind may be hard, but the results you get from the grind makes you want to do the grind even more. So through
Yeah.
that, I just started going through other stuff, started doing more stuff. That's when I started coding. I started like just expanding my horizon and different things that I could do, and just like yeah, basically through that. So I guess he kind of started off like where my how my mindset is placed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned mom. I'm also aware because I didn't realize when I found out who your brother was. I was like,
Hmm.
I didn't realize that was him for a while,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh wait. So I'm also aware of who you, or I guess not who your mom is, but the impact she's had on him. So
Hmm.
I imagine a lot of that was also the same impact she had on
For
you.
sure. For
Like you said,
sure.
waking up at 4 a.m. Like what kid was
Yeah.
waking up at 4 a.m.? But that's the same
Yeah.
story you hear about these pro athletes. Yeah, mom, dad woke me up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and now I'm in the NBA. So,
Yeah.
for mom doing something similar, what was that like?
Uh, it was not gonna lie. We had days where I would like leave me alone, bro. One day it's not gonna. It's just one day. Like I'll be fine. And then my mom is like, "No, you gotta do it." Because from one day it turned into 1 week, and from 2 weeks it turned into like a month. Before you know it, you're not doing it anymore. I just like kind of fought it and just like. And the thing about waking up early is that like, yes, the first 5 minutes may be horrible and maybe like the worst 5 minutes of your life. But as
Yeah,
soon as you just get past that, it's just like it's fine. Like right now, okay, like before I started practice for the SAT because I'm a current junior right now. Like I'd
yeah,
wake up at 5 a.m. every day to like work out and like do whatever chores I need to do or like do whatever I need to do before school starts at 8:30. So I would
yeah,
wake up And like people, when I tell people, they're like, "Oh my god, how are you able to do that?" But like, it's just from when my mom used to wake me up, and like that made me understand, like, this is the type of things you have to do just to be like ahead of everybody. And I remember I used to watch a lot of like these Kobe like mentality like YouTube videos when he was like,
Yeah.
you might wake up a little, like 2 hours may not be the difference, may not seem like a lot of difference in comparison to someone that wakes up at like 7 a.m. But like
Yeah.
if you add it up over a year, that's like a lot of experience you have over that person. So like that's kind of the mentality I've kind of had through waking up at 5 a.m., waking up early and like just putting in the time. Because like I was also reading this book called The Outsiders by I forgot his name, Michael Gladwell. And like 10 hours is, well, in average 10 hours is what you 10 hours of practice and you get perfection. And like through that I just been like, okay, if I can just get as much, even in video games that I play, if I can get like as this much time, I know for a fact I'm gonna be better than that person. So it's not a matter of, oh, I don't know if I'm able to do this. If I have the time there, I know I'm able to do this. So through that I've just been kind of like going to that mentality and just being able to tackle things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think one really important thing to point out is, and you understand this, but not everyone really understands this, is when you talk about the 10,000 hours,
Mm-hmm.
what you understand from your mom, your brother, your own life is it's not just 10,000 hours, it's 10,000 hours of perfect practice. Because we talked
Yep.
about how, Coach K comes from kind of near your neighborhood. And
Mm-hmm.
he's always saying it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes
To make
perfect.
perfect.
Because
Yep.
what you practice, that 90% is what you manifest that 10%. And,
Yep.
clearly you've understood that for most of your life. And I think, anyone watching this, if you feel like you're not getting the results you want, you're saying, but I'm practicing so much 10,000 hours. Well, go and examine, are you practicing perfect or not? And, it's not that you have to be perfect, but you
Mm-hmm.
want to strive for perfection in practice
Yeah.
so then you
Yeah.
can perform in games. And that's where, I get knocked out of the air and I'm sideways. I can flip the ball and get one.
Yeah.
It's not that I practice that, but I'm in a position to where I can execute and give myself the most maximized chance of success. And if I
Mm-hmm.
miss it, well, fine. At least it's a shot. I get two free throws as opposed to the and one. So one of the really interesting things is, like you said, you start waking up early. You want 5 minutes, and your mom's like, no, it's going to turn into years. And now you're able to look back and say, those minutes and hours and days have stacked up for you.
Yep.
And hopefully, the SAT isn't too dangerous, too
I
crazy.
kind
So
of nervous, but like a lot of people told me I do good, but like mental things, just like, oh, just just doubts and just. But I hope like through practice, because I've been putting in the work through practice, I'll be
yeah.
able to do good
And in fact, I would say a lot of times it's because of the practice that you're aware of
for the
these
fact
doubts
and
that can happen.
yeah,
Because if you haven't prepared for the game, how do you even know
what you
that?
can do.
Yeah, how do you even know that your opponent is capable of these things? And then in game time, when you start executing, you realize, oh, yeah, he's good at crossovers, but I pick him off all the time. Well, you've
Yeah.
neutralized that threat. So one of the key things, like you said, just lock in, you know, go after the 10,000 hours. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
For you, why do you feel like these goals are necessary in your life?
Uh, I feel like without these goals, I just be running around like a headless chicken. Like I wouldn't know what I'm gonna like. It's I feel like with these goals, it just helps me keep my mind focused. Cause like I'm a person, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a person. I overthink a lot. I overthink like a lot of things that I'm gonna do. Like I just like overanalyze things. And with these goals, it's like I'm able to like fix those thinking that those thoughts into like one perspective and just like relax myself and just like if you're able to do this, just go for it. Just go for it. You practice this. You've done this enough. You put in the work enough. Just go for it. Like even if you make a mistake, what do? You reflect. You learn. And you just grow.
Yeah,
That's why that's a necessity of those goals, I guess.
definitely.
Yeah.
So I guess what are some of the most meaningful goals that you've already achieved?
Uh, whew. Okay. I'm gonna take you way back. Okay, so I was born here, moved to Nigeria when I was about 2, came back here when I was 10. Back
Yeah.
when I was in Nigeria, right? When in second grade, I took a test from second grade, and I went from second grade to seventh grade. So I was like, think about this. I was like 7 years old, hanging out with kids who were 15, 16. And like it was. it was weird at first, but I got used to it.
Yeah.
And then like eventually like I got used to it and like I adapted. So like I came here, fast forward to sophomore year, I'm a sophomore in varsity. That's another one. I'm like, why do I keep getting put in this position where I'm like the little person and like in these all these big people groups? And just like I just feel like I'm able to like adapt into like what I like in this whatever like adversity or like situation I'm put through. So
Yeah.
like yeah.
I like to point out most NBA players talk about something similar. Yeah, I was in eighth grade, put me in varsity. It's like, wait. Eighth grade, you're not in high school yet. So you had to travel from your middle school campus to the high school campus just to practice. And it's like, yeah, it was rough. I only averaged 13 points. What only averaged 13 points. And you find out this kid, this guy, he's a first round lottery pick coming up. And he's saying, yeah, I've never averaged so low. I used to average like 25 in sixth grade. And then, it took me until freshman year to average 25 again. You're just like, oh, okay. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
You gotta challenge yourself. And sometimes that means getting thrown into the deep end of the pool. In your case, you're 7 with people twice your age and saying, all right, we got to solve for X or whatever's going on here. If I got to figure out the area of this, weirdly cut triangle or whatever, the
Yeah.
main thing is you're starting to think about those things way ahead of time, which gives you a lot of, it really shows you a lot of the real world earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that's pretty interesting. You mentioned that you moved back to the U.S. when you were
Mm-hmm.
10, which means seventh
They,
grade when you're about to take the ACT. You're 12, 13.
yeah. So the thing that happened was that when I came back to America, they just because like I came back to America when I was 10. So by
Yeah,
that time I was in about like
fourth or fifth
eighth.
grade.
No. I
Or,
wasn't.
or
No. So I
right,
because
right,
I
right.
because I transferred because back in Nigeria, like if I stayed in Nigeria, like
Yeah,
by like 10 or 11, I was already in like I don't know, eighth, ninth grade. So they were like, no, you're a 10-year-old. You can't be hanging around like these other kids. So they put me back to fifth grade. So like from like fifth grade to like eighth grade, like, I was just cruising. Like I already knew all this stuff. It was kind of
yeah,
easy. And then like after that, everything like, now I had to start like putting in the work. Well, it
yeah.
started like, I think around this year or last year, then I like had to start, putting in the work and actually listening through class. Because not gonna lie, my mom even knows I have this issue. I'm a very restless kid. Like I can't sit in one place for an hour. Like it's an issue. It's even on Sunday, like because like our family, we did this, we like nap every Sundays. I would not. I would literally wait for everyone to take a nap, and then I'll get up and just go do whatever I want to do. But yeah.
Man, see, that's why I think that's why people get tired because they're like, oh, I got that one kid who just won't stop running around.
Yeah.
Got to make sure he doesn't burn down the house doing some chemistry experiment. Like, oh,
Jeez.
dude, I can make a volcano in my own bedroom.
I used to do a lot of I used to do a lot of crazy stuff when I was a kid. A
You
lot.
say used to. I'm sure you're still doing some of that.
I
Just
mean, it's kind of a little diluted. I say,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The risk factor is
Yes, it's
very
a lot
diminished
lower.
comparatively.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So, okay, kind of going back to stuff you talked about with color hacks.
Hmm.
You already clarified you wanted to impact others by saying, all right, here's something. Well, first, here's a hackathon. I can't go, so how about I just create my own? But
Hmm.
then, wait, there's a lot of minorities that miss out on opportunities. So that's the demographic focus. And like we were saying, actually, if you want to share your screen and pull up the website, we can show some people.
Oh
But like
yeah,
you're
sure. I got
saying,
you.
the the website or the model is a virtual safe space for
Hmm.
underrepresented students in high school, something like that. Um,
My laptop's taking its really, really sweet time right now.
yeah, it
uh,
happens.
it's loading up. It's
All
like
right.
in developer view, so I have to like put it into like uh,
Yeah.
should I
And
do
I think
switch
one of the
over?
really interesting things is you're not only creating a hackathon for kids your age, but you're also saying, all right, if you're a minority and a lot of times you don't have the same access that others have, I
Hmm.
want to make it accessible to you. And obviously the name Color Hacks, people can see right away, oh, okay, that's what's going on. I guess other than impacting people through that, how else do you want to impact others?
Uh, okay, so this is kind of like okay, because there was a time when me and my brother were talking about like things like we want to do. Because me and my brother we had like these long talks a lot, but
Yeah.
like I was just like, I feel like I won't live life to the fullest or to my fullest
Yeah.
if I don't achieve world domination. And by world domination, I don't mean some like evil villain type stuff. I mean like if you hear my kind of like how LeBron James, like there's nowhere you go that you will know who LeBron James is. Like even if you're not into the world of basketball, like you will know who he is. And that's kind
Yeah.
of like what my goal is. Like I want to be involved in so many things and like do so many things for people and for myself that like I go anywhere, people know who I am. If you say my name, you know who I am immediately, and just like
Yeah.
basically that. But I have the website pulled up if you want me to share my screen right now.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I think one of the things is, we talk about, you know, are you known on a first name basis? And it's not so much to say I have to be that person. It's more to
Mm-hmm.
say that's a way to measure, you know, are you known? And then from there, how are you known?
Mm-hmm.
Are you famous because you did good things or bad things? Did you uplift others and all that? And so I like to, you know, everyone who sees this, a virtual safe space for high school students from underrepresented backgrounds to learn and build software. And obviously one big thing is being virtual. It's open to anyone. Colorhacks.org. And high school students, like you said, you're a high school student, and a lot of times you're not able to join.
Mm-hmm.
And then for underrepresented students, a lot of it is, look, some people in the US just don't have the same opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your way to start fixing that problem.
Yeah. Uh,
And February 19th to 21st, so that third weekend of February this year.
yep. For some reason, I don't know what's going on, but like this bottom side, like you can see the red. You can see like if you see my cursor change, like the register button
Yeah.
is there, but it doesn't load. So I don't know. So I just like I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm not gonna waste my time. So I just put one right here. If you guys need to press
Yeah,
one on the top right there. So
it
yeah,
happens. You code, you're like, all right, this looks good. And wait, something else doesn't look good.
I have no idea.
It
Maybe I just
happens.
made some. Maybe I was trying to make it look cool or something. I just messed something up. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, you got some
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
So, like you said, you talked to your brother and you said you feel like I haven't lived life to the fullest if I'm, until I reach the point where people know who I am. And like you said, it's
Mm-hmm.
not about being famous. It's about saying, what have I done for myself and for others?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like Do you feel like that was something that was instilled in you from your mom, your brother, your family, or was it just something that you just always wanted to do growing up?
I don't know. I just feel like okay. First of all, like my dad was a person who like he was just strict to like he was like a stick that would never bend. Like you
Yeah,
have to do this. If he tells you that you have to do it. Like as a kid, like he's been pushing me like a lot, and that's also one of the reasons why I also pushed myself. But like through those pushings and like seeing what I can do, like as a kid, I've always wanted to do something big. I never knew what it was. At first as a kid, I started experimenting. Oh, maybe I could be a really good inventor. I remember like in sixth grade, I was like, oh, I should make this like little like AI whatever thing that if you put it in the blind people's head, like they can like their brains can register like the thermal activity of people around them instead of actually seeing. Like
yeah,
I never ended up falling through, but like I just like I've always wanted to like you know do something big and like as I grew older, I started to find more realistic ways to achieve that getting something big. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And me and you have talked a lot about kind of being human engineers. That
Mm-hmm.
creating that human experience, that impact. And obviously now I'm interviewing you partly on my a production company's YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, yeah, I want to hop in, I want to do some stuff, maybe talk about life of a high school basketball player. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you're ready, we spin you off on your own thing.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about kind of the term hacker producer,
Yeah.
get involved with tech, We learn how to code, we build websites, we host hackathons, we mentor others, but at the same time say, all right, let's start getting creative. Let's get in front of the camera and tell some stories. In this case, we're telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime down the line, we'll probably have you tell my story a bit, and then we'll start talking about, high school athletes,
Yeah.
things that go through your mind and this, that, maybe stuff like, how is it different for me compared to you?
Mm-hmm.
For one, the culture in sports today is very different from what I had. We talked about how for me is a lot more Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant type stuff. Everyone's trying to
Yeah.
become a
Yeah.
rapper at the time, where now a lot of times they're trying to go into fashion more often. Like Russell
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook and Dwayne Wade,
Yeah.
and I think it's really interesting, the evolution. But in the end, we're all still trying to impact others.
Mm-hmm.
And in your case, starting off with color hacks. Uh, so let's step away from color hacks for a bit and kind of talk about a couple other things in your life. You attended the Chicago Math and Science Academy.
Yeah.
You've been trying to reach the Obama Foundation for color hacks to support, or I guess Obama Foundation and Urban Alliance to
Urban
support
Alliance. Yeah.
the Obama Youth Job Corps.
Mm-hmm.
You've also been and talking to companies that have already given money for
Yeah.
color hacks, like Balsamic and Source Schools. What else are you hoping to do while you're in high school before you get to college?
Oh man, I have actually it's not a lot, but like that one thing is gonna be big. So basically,
Yeah.
this okay, so it's gonna have to feed off of color hack. So basically, like me and my brother we talk about a lot of stuff we want to do in
Yeah.
like the next few years. But like basically, off of the people and like the community that I'm gonna get off of color hacks, I'm gonna start an esports league over the
Oh,
summer, and I'm gonna run like I'm gonna end up running like a mock tournament, and like through the sponsors that I get from Collax as well, I'm gonna ask them to. They most likely might sponsor esports league. One person that I'm pretty sure is gonna sponsor is Colorstack, because my brother told me that he knows around like sort of personally, and like he's interested in stuff like that. So he's most likely gonna give me money for that. So through that, I'm gonna start the esports league. If it goes big, that's good for me. I'm gonna apply into this VC accelerator called Envision, which my brother was part of the ones who were starting. That's an
yeah.
automatically $7,000 I'm getting for that company. So after high school, hopefully I get into like the Stanford, which is the school I'm hoping to get into. But like if I get
Yeah.
into that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like a couple gap years, right? And because you can't earn money, you can't get money from investors without while being in school. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get those money from investors, and like after I've raised a couple rounds, I'm gonna end up going to college. So that's basically what I'm planning on doing before I graduate from high school.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
exciting, not gonna lie. But yeah, we'll see how
Well,
it
the
turns
funny
out.
thing is, if you go down that path, you're in danger of not going to college, because instead they'll be saying, "Hey, would you like to come and teach a class?" And you'd be like, "Wait, you mean I'm not going to be sitting down with them? No, you're going to be talking to the one sitting down over there." Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But which, of course, if you get to that point, more power to you. I just want to point out, hey, if it goes well, you might actually be struggling with, how do I go to college if they keep telling me to give the lectures? Can I grade my own papers?
I mean,
So, hey, whichever path that leads, that's a great one. So I definitely want to point out, if you're able to start the esports league,
mhm,
um, from there, we should talk about, there's the NBA, NCAA. Ice Cube
mhm.
stole my idea for the big three, the 3-on-3 term or 3-on-3 basketball league. So I think me and you, we need to figure out something, maybe like a 21 basketball league. I don't know,
I might have a we could do like a 2K competition.
something like that. So, all these things you're talking about, it's a lot of really dynamic stuff. It's a lot of really, really just, things that a lot of people, they think about doing when they get to college, and you're already
Mhm.
trying to do all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have your parents, your brother, your family to think. Just kind of curious, do you have other people in your life that you want to thank?
Honestly, like my friends, like we joke around a lot, and like I
Yeah.
don't know, for some reason, like because like, when you do things and like you don't really see how big they are, because like you're the person that's doing it, you don't really see how big it is. But like when other people tell you like how big the thing you're doing is. Just like, wow, I'm really doing this stuff. So like, I thank those people because like, it's encouraging. It makes me want to do more. And to be honest, I think I'll be lying to myself if I say if I say I'm not gonna thank myself. I thank myself because like there's just been some times it's just been really hard, and like I was like, you know what? Why don't I just be mediocre? Like it's not gonna be hard. I'll be fine. I guess I have my brother to help me, but like I just keep pushing, and I always just like end
Yeah.
up doing what I need to do and just get on that road. And I just feel like it's helped me along. It's helped me through basketball, just through anything I've really done in life, like through basketball, through school, the color hacks, through everything. It's just really, it's been great. And
Yeah.
I also thank my doubters because good motivators as well too.
Hey man, I went to Duke. I
Good
know all about
motivators.
drinking that haterade. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think something that I've never told you this, but when you mentioned thanking yourself, I'm always telling people I can do everything to get you to that door and open that door for you, but you gotta take that step through the door. And you know, it's one of those things like, yeah, you can thank me, thank others as much as you want, but in the end, who was the one that took that step through the door? You had to
Yep.
take that step for yourself. So yeah, definitely be kind and celebrate yourself as well. Thank yourself. Because I know some people might be thinking, but someone else opened the door. Yes, but they can't make you take that step through the door.
Mhm.
Once you step through,
Mhm.
then they can drag you to success despite
Yeah.
your most lazy, your efforts to be lazy. But you're the
Mhm.
one who has to step through, or they can't help you reach the next door. And I think it's important that a lot of people recognize what you're saying is that you play a role in your own success as well. Others help you get there, but you're the one who's still saying, you know what, I'll make this a habit. You know what, I can pretend that I'm doing it, but why not just actually do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
um, we definitely want to make sure everyone feels like, it's not just if they don't have the right people in their lives, they can't do it. It's saying, okay, look, if you don't have the right people in your life, you still have yourself.
Yourself. Yep.
You know? At worst, get to that door, open it for yourself, and take that step through yourself.
Mhm. Yep.
Because in the end, it's your life. The legacy you're building, the impact you're creating for others, is
Mhm.
coming from you. So, do your best. 10,000 hours, perfect practice makes
Yep.
perfect. Do your
Yep.
best to be who you can be. And, it's like we talk about all these slogans, Dwayne Wade, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Numerically doesn't
Yep.
make sense, philosophically amazing, but that's how it is. If you don't get up one more time than however many times you fell down,
Mhm.
you're not going to get to the next level. So,
Yeah.
um, Dunni, thank you for your time. This is great.
No problem.
Definitely want to
No problem.
encourage everyone, check out Color Hacks, colorhacks.org, February 19th to 21. It's the third weekend of February 2021. Obviously, there will be future editions. And hey, you join that, you'll be kind of on the end for that upcoming E-League, esports league.
Yep.
And definitely, Dooney, looking forward to working with you some more on the Civic Code. We mentioned some other plans that we're not quite publicizing yet, but
Yeah. Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
the stuff that for production, hacker producers,
Yeah.
and then definitely looking
Mhm.
forward to see what you do in the future. Would you like
Mhm.
to leave any last words for everyone?
Uh, I didn't really expect that question, but
Nah, it's all good.
just I don't know. I don't know. Just keep going. I guess like it's like I said earlier. It's not as hard as you may think. It physically, mentally, it may be hard, but like there are others around you that can make your job a lot less harder than it is. And even if you don't have people, you can. Like I said, it may be cliche, but you can do things like if you put your mind to it. If you want it that bad, then you could go for it. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wise words from a wise guy or wise man. I guess wise guy doesn't quite sound the right way, but yeah, yeah, everyone keep pushing forward. We're gonna leave Dooney's contact information in the video description below, so feel free contact him. Definitely check out Color Hacks. That's another great way to get connected. And yeah, everyone stay safe, take it easy, and happy